What is up? What's good? Welcome into the OnlyBets Sports Podcast Tuesday edition alongside Drew DeLucchi. Sternbets, I am the Prince of Picks. We got an action-packed show lined up for you guys today. We've got the WNBA, NBA playoffs. Of course, we're going to have to recap the awesome game that we saw last night, game one of the Western Conference Finals. And then, of course, we've got MLB in action as well. A lot of action on the ballparks and a little bit of soccer that we'll be covering over in Europe as well. So great slate of matches today, great sports landscape across the world. And, of course, we'll be getting into that here shortly. Before we do that, if you guys can do us a quick favor, head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is that you guys listen to us. Give us a real quick rating, review, subscribe. It does a lot in helping us grow this community and getting this show out to more potential listeners. I would appreciate you guys' support as always. And with that being said, I am once again joined by Mr. Sternbets. Mr. Mosh, good morning. Happy Tuesday. What's going on, brother? How'd you do yesterday? How we doing?
Happy warm Tuesday. So yesterday. Not great. Yankees won by 1. So what are you going to do? The pick was to win by 2. But you know what? It's a nice day. I'm excited for baseball. We get a little bit of day action, I think, at like 4:30 or so. Very excited to get forward. And looking back at last night, that was just a wild game between the Spurs and OKC. Very much enjoyed watching double overtime. I also thought that my over was cooked until they got to the second overtime. And then I was like, all right, I think I'm safe. Just needed 3 more points. So it's a great day in sports all overall. Drew, let's bring you in as well. How did you do yesterday?
I did pretty well. I went 2-1 on the day. Irvin only lasted 4 innings. Champagne had 11 points and 9 rebounds, so that more than cleared. But Josh Doan didn't get a point, but I'll take a 2-1 day.
I actually put a little bit more than just my half normal unit on Jake Irving under 15.5 outs because, I mean, my gosh, the guy's never going past 5 innings like twice this year. Anyway,
he's done it once.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But so he's done it, but he's only recorded at least an out in the 6th or later once.
Wow, that's wild. Prince, how did you do yesterday? I know you weren't on the show, but I know that you were, I believe, on the Spurs plus 6.5 or 7.5, if I'm not mistaken. You had an MLB team total parlay. No, sorry, a full game parlay that cashed. I know that cashed. At least the first half cashed. You had like over 6 in the Baltimore game, and there was 16 runs or something by the end of the 6th inning. Yeah. How did you do yesterday and overall in your private sports channel? And then we'll get started on the MLB.
Yeah. To your point, yesterday I was off. Of course, I had some stuff to do, so I wasn't able to jump on the show. So I didn't have any official show plays, but we did do really well over in the VIP channel. To your point, we had over 6 parlay with the Orioles and then the White Sox. Both of those hit. Our game total over 6 at plus money there at plus 102, I believe.
Wait, wasn't there a 3-run home run in like the bottom of the 8th or the top of the 9th or something like that to cash that over?
Yeah, I think so. I wasn't watching it, to be honest with you. I was pretty locked in on NBA and a little bit of soccer, but I'm sure that I'll take your word on that. I don't know for sure, but in any case, it hit, and then money is money, so we'll cash that ticket out. Then of course I had Burnley plus 3 against Arsenal. That covered with relative ease. Arsenal had a few shots in the first half, second half. It looked like they were just kind of complacent to run away with the win there. Wasn't really much action going on in the second half. So they ended up winning that 1-0. So we hit that play. And then we also had one more play as well. I'm drawing a blank as to what that was. But overall, I think I went about 3-1 yesterday on the VIP pick. So I'll take it and we'll see if we can carry that momentum over into today.
All right, let's move forward to the MLB. Like I mentioned, we do have a 4-ish o'clock game. Drew, where are we going first on today's baseball slate?
Oh, sorry, 1 second. I was double checking my Fanatics app real quick for something. You can go ahead with yours real quick if you want.
Sure. So I'm actually going to go to another heavy-headed name, and this is really just because I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm not really feeling comfortable in any specific spot. It's a really tough slate, but I do like the Dodgers tonight. I took a full unit and I split it across the minus 1.5 on the spread at plus 105 and the Dodgers money line straight at minus 150. If I did this last night, maybe it wouldn't, I would have at least cashed something. But I really just think that the Dodgers are in an advantageous spot. They're against their arch rivals, the Padres here. They got shut out in the series opener. They're just too gosh darn good of an offense to really get shut out 2 games in a row. I kind of like their team total as well, but Emmett Sheehan is on the mound, and I really, really like what he brings to the table here. Simply put, he will give up a run or two, but for the most part, he only gives up a run or two, and that's really kind of what I'm looking for him. Underlying metrics are pretty good. His control's on point. And I can't find the game. They're facing Griffin Canning, who really has struggled lately. If he gets out of the first or second inning, he has a chance of doing damage, maybe going 4 or 5 innings. But for the most part, he's giving up runs within the first, second, and third inning consistently. I think he gave up 6 runs just like 2 starts ago or 3 starts ago. He hasn't made it past he hasn't gone very far, and I think that the Dodgers get into this Padres bullpen, which really hasn't been that great. I know that they have the elite of the elite at the back end there, but they have to get to the 9th inning to be able to use Mason Miller. I think the Dodgers are really going to just come out today, and I'm looking forward to Emmett Sheehan kind of putting together a performance. Drew, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, he's the thing with Emmett. He's of course off and on. He's done a lot better lately. One of his biggest issues from them watching him is his command. At the end of the day, and when he does try to force his command, he'll leave stuff over the middle of the plate. So, but at the end of the day, the Padres' offense, as we know, has been very stagnant. It's actually one of the worst offenses in the league. So, I do like your play in that case.
Yeah, at home, I think they ranked 28th in the league in runs scored, while the Dodgers, I think, ranked 7th or 8th in the league. I have to double check that. I apologize that I don't have all my notes in front of me, but the Dodgers should definitely bounce back. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a higher scoring game overall, 6, 7, or 8 runs. I really do. I just like the Dodgers kind of score today. Not sure how long the Padres bullpen's really going to last. But where are you going, man? What's your play?
Yeah. I'll go to the Blue Jays, Yankees. We have Dylan Cease versus Will Warren. I believe Will Warren has faced, I think he's only faced this Blue Jays team like once, and the one time they did play, it was like once or twice. But the Blue Jays have a 4.12 batting average against him. And I personally like this. The last 2 starts, he did not cover 17 and a half outs. And I think that continues, especially in a Yankees stadium. It's very hitter friendly. Before that, those 2 starts, he was looking really well. A lot of pitch to contacts, more strikeouts than we expect from him. But this Blue Jays, something I like about this Blue Jays team is they do like to grind out of bats. They'll either grind out of bats or they'll try to hit themselves out of the game. But their offense has been picking it up. Their biggest issue has come to not just their rotation at the end of the day. Their biggest issue has been like their bullpen. So as we saw yesterday, right? The game was 7-6 Yankees. I expect a high scoring game as well. Anytime you see these two play, you see high scoring games. So I don't see necessarily either starter going deep. So I like Will Warren under 17 and a half outs at -125.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent look. I don't know why the line isn't at 15 and a half or 16 and a half. He really does start to struggle towards the 4th and 5th inning. I think this is a really good spot. Yeah, I'm with it 100%, man.
And I think Boone's going to be a little more cautious, especially since what they saw, kind of what happened with Freed and stuff. With the starters at the end of the day too. I know they what was it called? Their starter got a little rocked yesterday, but I think they're going to have Will Warren, try to stay more 85 to 90 pitches and going to like 100. So yeah.
Yeah, something to look out for when he starts pitching. Is he pitching towards contact, for contact? Is he getting outs early? And is he starting to get pitch around the strike zone towards the 4th or 5th inning? It's really kind of important to watch, because if his control goes down, that pitch count goes way up really quickly. All right, Drew, anything else in the MLB?
A game that I'm interested in watching. Sounds crazy to say, but White Sox and Mariners. I believe this is the debut of Bryce Miller this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'll be interested to see, how he pitches as well. I do like your take on, of course, the Padres Dodgers games. Those are always fun to watch. And then I would say that's my only really like official play that I have. I would say for the MLB, but I would say I'll say this real quick. A lean that I have is Mets money line with Nolan McLean pitching at -140. I think is really good value.
Sorry, finding the mute button there. Yeah, definitely agree with you. Have a strong lean on the Mets. If you want to go on the run line -1.5, I don't think that's a bad option to get. The most probable outcome is that the game doesn't end by 1 run with bullpens such as Washington's. Prince, any thoughts in the MLB today?
Sorry, I had to find that mute button. My bad.
it's all good.
You know how it goes. Yeah, I do have a play here in the major leagues. I got a team total parlay. We're gonna take the Braves team total over 2.5, and the Diamondbacks team total over 2.5. We're gonna get that at -115. Again, I think you have two relatively good hitting teams. Of course, the Braves probably the best hitting team in the majors right now. And then we're gonna parlay that with the Diamondbacks, who at home should be in a favorable position here to at least get 3 runs. So give me the Braves, Diamondbacks. 3+ runs each at -115.
I think that's excellent value. I really do. I don't know why everyone sleeps on the Diamondbacks every year. They always put together a competitive team, and they have like the 3rd best hitting baseball stadium in the league. Drew, any thoughts on this play before we get into the home run sprinkles of the day?
No, I like it a lot. I like
All
it
right.
overall. Yeah.
Drew, going right back to you. Who is your home run sprinkle today? Prince, get ready.
Yeah. Let me see. Actually, Prince can go first because I was double checking these odds real quick between 2 different people. So
It's all good. Prince, who do you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to that Diamondbacks game. Give me Ketel Marte of the Diamondbacks to hit a home run today. We're going to get that at +488 again for the reasons I just mentioned. Plus, to allude to your point, the Diamondbacks home stadium is a batter-friendly ballpark as well. So I'll take him to go yard here at home. Ketel Marte, Diamondbacks +488.
Don't hate that at all. I'm going to go next, give our main man Drew a little bit more time. I'm going to go Jorge Soler, the original go the yard pick. He hits significantly better against lefties. And with wind blowing 7 miles per hour, out 80-degree weather in the 8th best home run hitting ballpark, I think this is a nice look at +450. He's facing Jacob Lopez, who has significantly struggled as of late. He's given up multiple home runs in 3 straight games for a grand total of 10 home runs through those last 3 games. Underlying metrics actually look very decent, except for strikeout and walk numbers and their correlated underlying metrics like whiff rate and chase and all that. So I really think this gives us 2 points. One, Soler's biggest weakness is his strikeout rate, 32.5%. When you take that away, you have a 12% barrel rate hitter to a 44% hard hit rate. Second, Lopez clearly has control issues, and someone like Soler should be able to capitalize on any massive mistakes. I just think this is way too good of a value. Bonus play here for a quarter unit. So I usually put a quarter unit on the home run sprinkle. I'm going to put another quarter unit play on Jorge Soler 1+ walk at -107 on DK. If he doesn't smash the ball, he's getting a walk. Raw numbers here. Soler has a 10.5% walk rate, while Lopez is giving up 14.2%. I think these are excellent looks here. Drew, who do you got for the home run sprinkle today?
yeah, definitely. I'm going to go with Vladdy here at +460. He hasn't been hitting for power as much. He's hitting 285, which is of course respectable at the end of the day, and has 20 RBIs. It's just his other. He's not. He's just mainly, of course, hitting for contact. But he's playing in Yankee Stadium, where it's going to be 94 degrees at 7 p.m. Eastern with 11-mile-per-hour wind blowing to left center field. He's hit a home run against Will Warren in his career. I believe he's 3 for 5 against him in his career. So yeah, give me Vladdy at +460. I think his home run ability after 40+ games, picks up. So yeah.
I don't hate that. I only hate it as a fan of the Yankees, and I really want the Yankees to win today. But when I was looking at my model, that was a top-ranked play. Can't deny that at all. Prince or Drew, any thoughts on each other's plays or my play before we move on to the NHL?
Nothing for me.
Anything else, Drew? We'll have leans and we'll come back to baseball at the end of our show when we invite the public to come talk with us. Anything else, though, before we move on to the NHL?
No, nothing for me. But of course, Vladdy can hit a home run and Yankees can still win by like 5.
Yes, that's amen. So no NHL games tonight, but we did see the Canadians go on the road last night to the Sabres and beat them 3-2 in overtime. They were down 2-0, I believe, at the end of the second period or first period, and they clawed their way back. Well done. Very excited to see the coming up series. Prince, I'm just going to ask you, do you have any thoughts on the upcoming series? We have the Golden Knights Avalanche Wednesday, Canadians Hurricanes Thursday. Any thoughts here at all?
No thoughts yet. I got to do a little bit more diving in before I come up with any angles or plays that I like. But I think those are two great series, two really really evenly matched teams in both series, honestly. So that's gonna be a tough one to call. Both of them, I think, are you're getting towards the end here. So obviously the quality is rising and the teams are more competitive. So we'll see. I got to do a little more deep diving though, to be honest with you. But I think we see two competitive series for sure in those ones.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Drew, any thoughts on the series? Either one?
Yeah. So of course, I thought that that Canadians game was very fun to watch. At the end of the day, congratulations to the Canadians, of course. With the Golden Knights and Avalanche that we're going to see tomorrow. Of course, I said before it started, I think the Avalanche are going to be winning it all. Carolina actually looks just as good, if not better than Avalanche so far. So I expect to see Avalanche. Hurricanes, but I think for this first game between the Golden Knights and Avalanche, I think the Avalanche may win this game by 2 to 3 goals, just because I think they're going to try to make a statement right away, and I think it's a bad matchup for the Golden Knights with their offense.
I tend to agree. I think that both home teams in the opening games are going to have a good advantage. I think the Hurricanes should be favored, and I think the Avalanche should be favored, but no surprise, the numbers are favored. All right, let's get into the NBA. Prince, I'm just going to hand it off to you. What did we see last night, and what can we expect going forward?
So before we do that, let me pivot to the WNBA because I actually have a lot to say about the game last night in the NBA. So let me just let me just get through this WNBA play real quick. We only have one game tonight on the W slate tonight, guys. That's a 10 p.m. Eastern tip. Got the Toronto Tempo heading down to Phoenix, taking on the Mercury. This one's pretty simple for me. I'll be on the Mercury here, -7.5. I'll lay the points. You can get that at -120. I'm going to continue to fade Toronto until I see something that proves that I can't. Toronto, again, a brand new team in Oregon. This is their first season. This is going to be, their first road trip per se. And Phoenix is an up and down team, but I think they have enough quality here to win this one by margin. I kind of like them by double digits tonight, but I'll just lay the 7.5 with the Phoenix Mercury taking on the Toronto Temple tonight. You're going to get that at -120.
Love it.
Cool, awesome. And then let's go to the NBA now. Of course, massive game last night, Western Conference Final Game 1. We had the Spurs taking on the Thunder. I think it lived up to everyone's expectations so far. Everyone was been hyped about this series. You have the top two teams, probably in most people's opinions, in the entire NBA right now. So this is probably the people's NBA Finals, if you will. And I thought we just witnessed two heavyweights just going at it. I mean, defensively, offensively, big shot after big shot, haymaker after haymaker. Both teams getting into passing lanes defensively, giving ultimate effort, energy, diving on the floor for loose balls. For me, you got to give a shout out to Alex Caruso. I mean, my goodness, what a game that he had. Maybe an all-timer for him.
So smooth.
His impact on the game was absolutely incredible. He was everywhere, offensively, making big shots, defensively. He was on Wemby for a lot of times, and I thought he did pretty well against Wemby, considering he forced him off his spot a lot. He was playing the entry pass. He had a lot of deflections on the entry pass. He was very anticipatory in that, and I thought he just had a massive impact. Diving on the floor for loose balls, he was absolutely everywhere. And without him, I think the Thunder probably lose that by multiple possessions last night. So I thought he was the key factor for the Thunder. Of course, SGA had an off night, and he still ended up with 26 some points, I believe. So even an off night for him, it's still a productive night, but he missed a lot of timely shots. He missed a lot of shots that could have ended runs or started runs. Just shots that could have got the crowd going. For whatever reason, he just had an off night. And a lot of times you'll see that after a player wins an award or even from teams after they win a championship. Anytime there's like an award night, a lot of times you'll see they'll just have an off night that night for whatever reason. Maybe they're distracted or whatever the case is. But you got to give a lot of credit to the Spurs defense as well. I mean, whoever they threw at him, whether it was Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Dylan Harper, Didn't even matter. All of them just played absolutely outstanding on SGA, and I thought they did a really good job of just kind of swarming him and not allowing him to really get off. So I expect SGA to have a better game in game two. I think his offensively is just he's transcendent against good defenses, so I don't expect him to be held down for the entire series. But he's going to need help. He's going to need Chet to help him out. He's going to need some of the role players other than Alex Caruso. They're not going to be able to rely on Caruso to put up 30 again. I think he had 30 points or somewhere near that. So more productivity from the role players from the Thunder, I think, is necessary for them. But honestly, I don't think either team really needs to make too many adjustments. I mean, I think what you saw is pretty much what you're going to see for the entire series. Both teams, I thought, came out with the right mentality, the right energy. Again, just both teams making big shot after big shot. Wembanyama, what can you say about this guy? I mean, just when you think that you've said everything there is to say, he does something else that just amazes you. 40 plus points, 20 plus rebounds in his first ever Western Conference final. The guy is what, 21 years old? 21 years old, and he is already just absolutely dominating the league right now. I think this league is his to have for the next 10 to 15 years. And I think we are witnessing right now the beginning of the next greatest player in the NBA. I think it's a historical moment that we're witnessing right now. And I don't know what the Thunder can do other than throw Chet on him. And hopefully Chet can maybe have some big games. He's the only player in the NBA who physically can match up with Wembanyama. So I would look for him maybe to kind of need to step up his game defensively and give some kind of resistance to Wembanyama. But Wemby's just such a transcendent player. I don't know what they can really do with him. So if you're the Thunder, maybe let him get his and kind of limit the other players. I thought the Spurs role players had a little bit they were a little bit too comfortable in some of their shots, and I thought the Thunder could have done a better job at maybe making it a little bit tougher for the role players. So maybe a slight adjustments, but honestly, I think this is just going to be one hell of a series. I think we're just going to see back and forth each game, just like we saw in the regular season. I think that's going to continue here in the playoffs. So can't wait for game two.
Yeah. 1 point, I know Caruso did incredible throughout the whole game, but it was a joke watching him in the final minutes of the second overtime. Wemby just standing over him, catching the ball and dunking it. They need to figure out an answer for that. And then the other side, like you said, they need a scheme. I'm interested to see how they scheme SGA open because they're going to need to plan that out, I think, a little bit better than just letting him go ham and be like, hey, you're our MVP. Go figure it out, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Very much looking forward to it. Drew, any thoughts from the game last night before we get into tonight with the Knicks? And by the way, I am wearing my Knicks t-shirt.
I thought it was, of course, it was an overall exciting game, especially with the, double overtime. Something I've noticed is we're not seeing we're not seeing the Thunder kind of favorable whistle. They're letting them play physical because they know the Spurs can, they know the Spurs like to play physical. And then the Thunder are kind of like matching it well, too. I remember when I think it was the end of the OT. The first OT, they were trying to give Shea the ball, and then Shea was trying to get off one guy, and then another guy started holding Shea, and then they finally passed him with only like 6 seconds left. So that tells me everything I need to know with what the refs are allowing, and I don't think the Thunder are comfortable with that. I'm not saying the Thunder are necessarily like begging, asking for a whistle, but I don't think they're used to teams being able to play physical with them. So yeah.
All right, Prince, what about tonight? Now, I have a lean on the under and Cleveland, I guess. I think 7.5 is a little bit too much. What say you, sir?
Yeah, so I struggle with this one. I have a hard time laying 7.5 points. I think that's the spread right now. Last I checked, was the Knicks minus 7.5. I struggle laying that many points with the Knicks just because we have a whole season that shows that they were inconsistent. I know they've been better this playoffs, but I still don't know if I fully trust them enough to be laying 7.5 points with them. So what I did instead, I know you're on the under. I might slightly be towards the over. I'm going to take the Knicks team total here, over 112.5. You're getting that around minus 120. The Knicks have shown offensively that they've taken it to another level. That's one thing that they have been consistent on. They've been scoring points pretty regularly in this playoffs. I think the Cavs coming off another Game 7, back-to-back Game 7 series. Now they're going to go on the road to Madison Square Garden. I think you might see some tired legs here in the second half of the Cavs for the Cavs here. And so I think the Knicks could put up some points here. 112.5 is a very attainable number for them. So I'll take the Knicks here over 112.5 at minus 120.
Hey, listen, these both can hit. I just had a lean, not a play. I just don't. I guess I don't really trust Cleveland offensively more in that equation. So in that case, I'm not really against you, buddy. I'm with you. Drew, any thoughts on the game tonight? Any player props to look out for?
Yeah, I do have a player prop. Definitely. We're gonna go to Cat under 29.5 points and rebounds. Cat's been one of the main reasons they're here, but it's been because of assists. At the end of the day for him, if you look at his the games in the playoffs, the under 29.5 points and rebounds is 6-4. The three of those four games, he's gotten exactly 30. But the last four games, the under is 3-1, and the one is hook 30. So he's also going to go against Evan Mobley, one of the most premier, like kind of like big men defenders at the end of the day. And I expect more assists out of him. It's going to be hard for him to get double-digit rebounds. I don't really expect Cat to have a 20-10 game. We haven't really seen much of that this series. I can this playoffs. Because, honestly, I can see him possibly, getting like 18 points, 7 boards, and like 8 assists. Another good look that people are looking at is over 4.5 assists. But I think this is safer for a kind of a winning percentage play, especially who he's going to be going against. And they're going to be looking for probably a lot more other options for offense.
So it's points and rebounds under 29.5.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. I found that on MGM having the best price at the moment, -110. Prince, any thoughts on that play?
No, I like it. I think it's a solid look.
All right, Prince, I'm going to go right back to you with soccer landscape. What are we looking at today? Is there any? I think we have 2 EPL games, if I'm not mistaken.
We do, yeah. There are 2 massive games actually in the EPL this afternoon. So we'll go ahead and get right into that. 2:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff and 3 p.m. Eastern kickoff, respectively. Here we got Bournemouth taking on Manchester City. City, of course, they need to win in order to keep their hopes of getting first place in the EPL. Bournemouth have a lot to play for as well. They're playing for a European spot in European competition next season, which for a club like Bournemouth, a smaller club like them, that is a massive deal for them to be able to play in European competition. So for that reason here, I think Bournemouth gets up for this game. Historically, Manchester City has owned this matchup, but I kind of think this could be a banana peel for Manchester City. Something tells me Bournemouth's going to get up for this one, and they're going to get a result. Officially, I'm going to take Bournemouth on a +1 Asian spread. You're going to get that at -130. Just based on the value, I think that's good value here for a Bournemouth team that I don't expect to get blown out. But I think there's every chance Bournemouth wins this one outright or at least gets a point. So if you wanted to play something like a double chance, draw no bet, even if you want to sprinkle on the money line for Bournemouth, that's probably something that I'll be doing as well. Unofficially here, again, I just think Bournemouth is in a really good spot motivationally. Manchester City has not been dominant recently, so I think this is a good spot as ever for Bournemouth to potentially shock the world here, shock the EPL world, and get a result against Manchester City and knock them out of the EPL top of the table running. So give me Bournemouth officially +1. We're going to get that at -130. Then I'll move on to the next game, and then I'll get your thoughts, Stern, on those. The next one here, we got Chelsea, who's going to be hosting Tottenham. Tottenham, of course, with a win, they will secure their spot in the EPL next season. So despite all the trouble that they've gone through throughout this entire season, they are just a win away from staying in the EPL. So going up against the Chelsea side, Chelsea's been very inconsistent. Actually on a downslide right now, in my opinion. I think this is a good spot for Tottenham. I think they get up for this one, and I think they get a result here. Officially here, I'm going to take them on a draw no bet. Again, the value here +150. I like the money here, considering we could push insurance against a draw. But again, I think Tottenham could potentially win this one outright if you want to play them on a double chance as well. I wouldn't hate that, but I think we could see a result here from Tottenham in this one, fading a Chelsea side that has just been backsliding. Really nothing to play for Chelsea. Tottenham, of course, everything to play for in this one. So I'll back the Tottenham side here on the road, +150 draw no bet.
Same boat, very much in lockstep. I have value on both underdogs here. Usually do, though. I gotta say, I think these are really absolutely sharp looks. I'm very, very excited to get into it.
Yeah.
Anything else in the outside world of European soccer?
Yes. So what I'm going to do, guys, we are 23 days away from the kickoff of the FIFA World Cup. Of course, going to be happening here in the States. So my plan here, starting today, I'm going to be giving you guys one play a day for the World Cup. Again, you guys can follow my entire World Cup betting preview show that is live on the channel right now on the OnlyBets podcast over there on the channel. You guys can find that. We'll be reposting it every day, or I will be anyway. So you guys can also follow me on Prince of Picks 10. You guys will see it at the top of the page pretty much every day. So we're going to be getting into it here. I'll give you guys a play a day. And then, like I said, you guys can get the more plays over there. Today, I'm going to give you guys 2 plays. This is the first day. But then after that, we'll just do 1 a day. So what I'm looking at here, we're looking at futures plays. This one I did give out on the podcast. I'll go ahead and give it out here as well. We're looking at Group D in the World Cup, where we have, of course, the United States, and we got Australia, Paraguay, and Turkey. I find a lot of value here on Turkey to win the group at plus 200. I actually think this is a mispriced play, to be honest with you. I think Turkey is the best team in this group, and I don't even think it's close. So I'm really surprised that we're getting plus 200 here for a Turkish side that just has a lot more top-end talent than the other teams here in this group. I think there's a lot of great value on that. I'm kind of not too sure about what to expect from the United States. Australia is a gritty team, but nowhere near the quality of Turkey. And Paraguay is the only one that could be up there. But again, plus 200 for Turkey to win the group. I like that play a whole heck of a lot. And that's probably one of my favorite plays of the group play. And this other play I'm going to be giving here, I have not given this on the group on the podcast. So this is a brand new play for everyone here. These bets just came out. I was waiting for these lines to come out. It looks like they came out very recently. We have highest scoring group. We have those plays available now. And what I landed on here, I like Group G to be the highest scoring group. You're going to get that at plus 1,400. Again, bet lightly on these. These are futures, but when I'm looking at all the groups, in my opinion here, this group has the most average to below average defensive teams in the group. We got Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. All of these teams, they hang their hand on the offensive side, not so much defensively. And so if we're going to see a group with a lot of goals, I think there's a great probability here that we see a lot of shootouts between these teams just because they can't really defend. And so I expect this one at plus 1,400. I think there's a lot of value on that to see a high scoring group, the highest scoring group, in my opinion.
Just to clarify, that's on DK Group G, highest scoring group.
That's correct. That's on Group G of the World Cup. Again, that group is featuring Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. So that group, we're looking at that group to be the highest scoring group. You're going to get that plus 1,400.
I love it. Sorry for interrupting your flow. I just wanted to make sure that I was getting it right in the books. I'm sure that FanDuel or Bet365 have it listed a little bit differently. So definitely feel free to ask us questions. We're happy to answer you. If anybody, by the way, wants to join our show, now's the time. Just request and we'll bring you on. If you have a take or you want to ask us a question, whatever it is, come join us. But before we do that, Prince, any last thoughts anywhere in sports? And then I'm going to go to Drew and then I'll give out my baseball leans.
No more thoughts for today. Of course, I do believe tomorrow we have do we have MLS? No, we don't have MLS. Tomorrow we have more action as well. I thought we had MLS tomorrow, but we don't.
No,
but no,
Wednesday
nothing else for me.
LMS? Oh.
Yeah, I thought we did. No, I guess not. Yeah, MLS. Yeah, it's all the same.
Just you know, I live in Lower Marion County, and everything is LMS this and LMS that.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Yeah, we got the Europa League final tomorrow. That's right. We got Freiburg and Aston Villa. So yeah, big matchup tomorrow. We'll have plays for that for sure for tomorrow, but nothing else for today from me.
Okay, Drew, any thoughts?
Nothing from my end.
All right. I did want to talk through with you maybe a few of these games while we wait to see if anybody wants to join. We mentioned the Mets. I like the Mets a lot. Other teams that I kind of like here, Rangers, Dodgers, obviously I took them as my official play. Guardians, Red Sox, and Pirates are all heavy leans for me. Any thoughts on any of those 4 games, Drew?
You said it was Pirates and who else?
Pirates, Rangers, Guardians, and Red Sox.
No, no necessarily thoughts for those.
I think Sonny Gray is pitching, I believe, for the Red Sox. I think that he has been starting to come up a little bit. Not too much where I want to like trust him with my official hard-earned money, but it's Robert Suarez. That's who's pitching. Ranger Suarez, not Robert. I don't know where Robert came from. I guess that's a fade on Bailey Falter. All right, yeah, just leans there. I'm gonna play each of those if I get a live line where I think it's valuable, worth playing. So that's something that I'm gonna be looking out for. I kind of like runs in the Pirates Cardinals game and the Brewers Cubs games. Those are if I see no runs early, those are two places that I'm going to be attacking. Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. Prince, what was our? I know I asked Drew, but you listened back to the podcast yesterday. What's our question of the day? I forgot.
Was it like what's the hardest thing about being an athlete or something about being a pro athlete? I thought it was something like that. Was it or no? Maybe it wasn't.
Drew, do you remember what the question was?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I asked it and I forgot it. I guess what would you consider the hardest part of being about being a pro athlete?
Yeah, so I guess I'll answer first. Maybe Drew's busy. I would say probably like just the amount of time that you're spent away from your family and stuff, right? Like, just constantly on the road, right? You're playing a game, you're flying out the next night, going to this city, then you're playing again, and then of course you got to do your training in between, and just the whole travel aspect of it. I guess I would say is probably could be difficult over the duration of a season. I would imagine,
I mean, it's got to be difficult. Yeah, I mean, that has to be the answer. It really does. I mean, the amount of concentration weekly to have the discipline to be able to go on the road no matter what, stick to your routine. That's got to be insanely difficult. And then also
Yeah,
probably also having to deal with social media, and then
sure.
I guess depending on the sport, like if you're in the NFL or NBA or something, people are going to really recognize you. If you're in a sport with a lot more people like the MLB or something, I guess it's a lot easier to kind of slip by unrecognized. Like, like what happened with Scotty Scheffler, where he got arrested going into his own tournament where he was leading last year? You're like,
I'm back, by the way, but I remember that.
what's going on? Like, this is the most famous player, one of the most famous players in the
What
world
wasn't it
right
like
now.
cutting traffic or something, or was there something right? Isn't that what happened? Like he was trying
He
to
was
get there
asked
for
to
his tea
pull
time or something.
over. Yeah, he was like stuck in traffic and he was trying to pull in and the guy didn't recognize him, didn't hear him well or something. It was like really early in the morning. And I think Scheffler saw him like waving on and then he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Or he wasn't like, I don't know. I think he didn't know that it was like a real cop.
Yeah, it
He
was
thought it was just like a
unintentional.
traffic
Yeah,
ticket.
yeah, right. I think it was
He just
unintentional. Like
drove
he
up
wasn't
by
trying to like
and
break
he's
the
like,
law.
"I'm a real cop, dang it."
Well, yeah, because I remember that whole skit, right? And the biggest issue was that, by the way, they dropped everything for him, and I think it ruined his psyche for the tournament that he was in. But
So
what
funny
was
enough, he actually shot incredibly well that Friday because I know it because I bet on his
yeah.
round matchup. And then Saturday when he came back, it
Yeah.
fell off a cliff. But yeah,
Well, because he was like trying to, I remember he was trying to like bypass a traffic accident, right? And then it was like a misunderstanding, like in a situation. So like he didn't really do anything illegal at all because he was doing what he's supposed to do when there's a traffic accident. So yeah.
but Drew, the question of the day was, what would you find the hardest part about being a professional athlete?
Oh, kind of like we were talking about yesterday. I remember, uh, um, I would say, what were your guys' answer? You guys haven't answered yet.
So 2-0 on the answer of it's got to be the travel and keeping up routine on the road.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I would say that. I would say, yeah. I think the single hardest thing to do in sports, in general, is hitting a baseball. Not just hitting a baseball, but putting it for base hit. I mean, Hall of Famers fail 70% of the time. But I would say definitely probably the travel, the mental psyche. If we're doing a specific sport, I would say for baseball, I would say it's one of the hardest sports just for mental psyches. You are failing 70% of the time. Matthew Stafford actually said a really good point with Troy Aikman on this Mount Rushmore podcast that I watched. They said that they don't understand why kids, now are being forced to play like one sport and stuff like that because it's good to teach them. Matthew Stafford was saying, "Oh, the one of the reasons I can throw sidearm and stuff because I was playing shortstop, and it taught me that I can fail all the time." He said it was so hard to play baseball because you're failing 70% of the time and the fans don't realize this, but you have to basically train your mind that it's okay to fail, like more times than not. So I would say that's kind of the hardest part to me is your failure, like keeping up with your failure parts and having to move on to the next game in like any sport. And then even if you have like a terrible game, whether it's in football, hockey, or stuff, you have to move on and compartmentalize and have short-term memory. I think if you don't have short-term memory, you're not going to make it in professional sports.
Yeah, I would argue, I think golf is probably even tougher because not only do you have to do it for one day, you have to do it 4 days in a row in an intense scrutiny. Like, I think the mental fortitude, like definitely baseball as well, but at least you get to recoup, I guess, sometimes. I don't know. One of them is I think those are probably the two toughest long-term type
Golf's a good
jobs
point.
out there.
Yeah, and also with golf is one hole can ruin your whole day. Like
Yeah, and you have to bounce back mentally too. Hard. Anyway, all right, let's recap our best bets here. Drew, why don't you lead us off?
yeah, definitely. Will Warren under 17.5 outs and minus 125. Cat, Karl Anthony Towns under 29.5 points and rebounds at minus 120. And Vlad Guerrero Jr. Plus 460 for the home run sprinkle.
Love it. I'm going to split a unit on the Dodgers minus 1.5 at plus 105 and Dodgers money line minus 150. My home run sprinkle a day. Jorge Soler to go the yard plus 450. Prince?
Yep. So for me, guys, we're looking at the Knicks team total over 112.5. I'll give you the Phoenix Mercury tonight. I'll lay the 7.5 with them in the WNBA. In baseball, I'll give you the Braves over 2.5 and the Diamondbacks team total over 2.5. Comes in around minus 115. We're going to sprinkle Ketel Marte to go yard at plus 488. On the pitch here in the EPL, give me AFC Bournemouth plus 1 at a minus 135. We're also going to be taking Tottenham on a draw no bet at plus 150. And then some bonus plays, 2 bonus plays for the World Cup. Give me Group G as the highest scoring group. Comes in at plus 1,400. And give me Group D winner to be Turkey at plus 200. That's going to do it for us today, guys. This has been the OnlyBets Sports Podcast Tuesday edition. Alongside Drew DeLucchi, Stern Bets, I'm the Prince of Picks. We appreciate you guys as always. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Let's cash out these tickets. We'll be back again tomorrow. Same time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Catch us live on X at OnlyBets Podcast. I would appreciate all you guys' support. We look forward to covering these sports with you guys. And until tomorrow, we will talk to you guys soon. Thank you.